Sangguniang Panlalawigan will be officially recorded in accordance with standard parliamentary procedure. All statements, discussions, and deliberations during the session shall form part of the official journal of the Sangguniang Panlalawigan as mandated under relevant provisions of the Local Government Code and internal rules. This recording ensures transparency, accountability, and accurate documentation of legislative proceedings. Attendees, resource persons, and members of the body are reminded to observe proper decorum throughout the session.
42nd Regular Session of the 20th SP is hereby called to order. All rise for invocation to be led by the Honorable Board Member Joseph D. Palmada. Please remain standing for the singing of the national anthem and the Bukidnon hymn.
When I am down and oh my soul so weary, when troubles come and my heart burden be, then I am still.
We humbly ask for your guidance in our duties, that our decisions may bring peace, progress, and justice to our people. We pray for our province that unity and compassion may prevail among leaders and communities. Lord, we lift our country facing all the challenges. Grant wisdom to our national leaders, courage to our citizens, and strength to those who serve tirelessly for the common good. We also pray for the entire world, where wars, disasters, and diseases continue to cause sufferings. Inspire nations to choose dialogue over conflict, generosity over greed, and love over hatred. Heal the sick, comfort the grieving, and protect the vulnerable. Guide us, Lord, to be instrument of peace and protectors of creation and servants of the common good. May decision be fruitful, our decision be just, and our actions bring hope to future generations. We entrust everything to your mercy and grace. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Education Board member given the mandate to serve my constituency through responsible, responsive, and effective legislation, provide dynamic leadership, promote and maximize the delivery of basic services for the general welfare. Under the chain of controlling, consultative, and participative democracy, I impose upon myself the supreme obligation to perform the functions prescribed unselfish and with dedication, thereby becoming a genuine catalyst of change in my locality and our nation.
Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
Yes, Mr. Presiding Officer, roll call. Provincial Vice Governor Clyde D. Kenyo.
Here.
Board Member Mario Jr. de Aparici. Board Member Godofredo I. Balanzan. Board Member Minerva C. Casinabi. Board Member Bobby J. Bidinlayan. Board Member Marlon Brando Bidinlayan. Board Member Armando Jr. S. Evangelista. Board Member Jose Miguel H. Fortich. Board Member Oliver Owen L. Garcia. Board Member Rialo S. Linas. Absent. Board Member Olici Monsanto. Board Member Alicia Resolahon. Board Member Joseph De Palmada. Board Member Ronaldo Jose Jr. G. Pipito. Board Member Renato S. Sumbungan. Mr. Chair, there are 14 out of 15 members of this august body who are present inside this session hall. Mr. Presiding Officer, there is a quorum.
There being a quorum, the 42nd regular session of the 20th SP is hereby in order. Majority floor leaders recognized. Go ahead, sir.
Presiding Officer,
Good afternoon, sir.
good afternoon to everyone. Now, Presiding Officer, we will now proceed with the approval of the calendar of business. And this also includes the approval of the minutes of the previous regular session. This is the minutes of the 41st regular session. For now, Honorable Presiding Officer, for the first reading, we have only 45 items. And for the second reading, we have 37 items. We have 1 item under the question hour, 3 items under the unfinished business, 6 items under the other communication, and we have 3 items in addendum 1 for other communication. So moving for the approval of the calendar of business as presented.
Objections, comments? There being none, the calendar of business for the 42nd regular session is hereby approved.
Thank you, Honorable Presiding Officers. As to the minutes of the 41st regular session of the 20th Sangguniang Panlalawigan held at this session hall, Manabalaisitan, May 5, 2026, copy of the same has been disseminated in advance for consideration of this august body. Thus, I move to dispense with the full reading of the minutes of our previous regular session.
Objections, comments? There being none, the reading of the minutes of the 41st regular session is hereby dispensed with.
And Honorable Presiding Officer, moving further for the approval of the minutes of the 41st regular session.
Objections, comments? There being none, the minutes of the 42nd of the 41st regular session is hereby approved.
Proceeding to the first reading reference of business, may we now recognize our Secretary, Attorney Apollo Magwali, to read the first item therein. Honorable Presiding Officer, please.
Attorney Magwali, please proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Presiding Officer. Thank you, Majority Floor Leader. First reading reference of business item number 1, proposed ordinance number 034-2026 of the 28th SP, authored by Board Member Rialo S. Linas, PPSK President, entitled An Ordinance Institutionalizing the Sangguniang Kabataan Monitoring and Evaluation System in the Province of Bukidnon.
Thank you, Attorney Magwali, our Secretary. Honorable Presiding Officer, I move for the approval of the following items. Number 1 and 37, this will be referred to the Committee on Youth and Sports Development. Item number 2, this will be transferred to the new business for the day. This will be marked as item number 38. And item number 3, this will be referred to the Committee on Agriculture Cooperatives. Items number 4 to 8, this will be referred to the Committee on Appropriation. And item 9 and 10, this will be referred to the Committee on Barangay and Local Government. Item number 11, this will be referred to the Committee on Beautification Tourism. For 12 and 13, this will be referred to the Committee on Civil Service. And item number 14, this will be referred to the Committee on Education. And items number 15, 16, and 17, this will be referred to the Committee on Environmental Protection, Climate Change, Disaster Preparedness. And item number 18, this will be referred to the Committee on Health. Item number 19, this will be referred to the Committee on Indigenous Cultural Communities and Indigenous People. And Honorable Presiding Officer, from items number 20 to 31, this will be referred to the Committee on Laws, Justice and Human Rights. For item number 32, this will be referred to the Committee on Rules and Privileges. 33 and 34, this will be referred to the Committee on Peace and Order. And item number 35, this will be referred to the Committee on Ways and Means, Trade and Industry. For item number 36, this will be referred to the Committee on Women, Family Relations. And items number 38 to 42, this will be transferred to the new business for the day, and this will be marked as items number 39 to 43. For items number 43, 44, and 45, this will be referred to the Committee on Environmental Protection, Climate Change, Disaster Preparedness. And in our addendum 1, Honorable Presiding Officer, from items number 1 to 3, this will be incorporated to the main other communication as item number 7, 8, and 9. So moving for the approval as enumerated, Honorable Presiding Officer.
Objections, comments? There being none, motion is approved.
Thank you, Honorable Presiding Officer. We will now proceed to the question hour. And this is to receive the Sangguniang Panlalawigan e-resolution. Honorable Presiding Officer, may we now recognize a gentleman from the 4th Legislative District, the Honorable Dr. R.J. Pipito, and moving also for the suspension of our internal house rule to complete our invited guest, Honorable Presiding Officer.
And the second, House will suspend the good gentleman from the 4th District is recognized. Go ahead, Honorable
Thank you, Mr. Presiding Officer. So this is with regards to the proposed resolution commending Ms. Sheena Angela L. Turing for her exemplary participation and valuable contribution as a member of the Creamline Coast Smashers, which won the 2026 championship title in the Premier Volleyball League or PBL All-Filipino Conference held on April 23, 2026 at Smart Araneta Coliseum, Quezon City, Philippines. We invited Ms. Sheena, but I think nasa sa Manila na, but we have her, it's a better person. Lola? Lola ni Ms. Sheena. We will now, represented by Ma'am Lucia Limbaga, the grandmother of Ms. Sheena.
Oh. Ma'am Lucia, kasi na kayo gusto ipaabot sa Sangguniang Panlalawigan.
Nagpasalamat ko, sir, sa kung apo nga dili na dawat ang iyang premyo pawalo kung tabi sa Manila dili dahil salamat kayo nga na-appeal siya sa champion sa Creamline. Salamat sir.
Mr. Chair, amo mo ko din sa silingan sa Sunkist Village. So, simply proud po me nga sa Alibiyad doon nga taas-taas na paabot sa Kuanda Sports. So at least nahinay po nung motivate na katuwa mga young mga athletes dito sa probinsya po.
Okay.
Ni 25.
So silingan mo di ko
Yes, Mr. Presiding Officer, sa Angkol, sa Sunkist sa Manila, unahan gamay mo lang na po tayo.
Okay. So silingan mo so magbalibol na po ka.
And then can we also request for a photo ops with the grandmother of Ms. Sheena, Mr. Presiding Officer?
Oh, yes, please. Yes, please. House was not suspended, right? Okay. Sige.
Diretso na.
Second, motion sa restored.
So maybe na proceed to our unfinished business. Honorable Presiding Officer, we have only 3 items in unfinished business. For these 3 items, may we now recognize the gentleman from the 2nd Legislative District, the Honorable Board Member, Attorney Jose Simon Santo.
The Honorable Honest Santos recognized. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Presiding Officer. Thank you, Majority Floor Leader. There's 3 communications addressed to the Committee on Appropriations. First is a letter dated April 27, 2026 with attachment coming from the Provincial Budget Officer, Provincial Budget Office, Province of Bukidnon, which transmitted to this August body for appropriate action, Supplemental Budget Number 3, General Fund and Special Account, Economic Enterprise, Calendar Year 2025 of the Municipality of Don Carlos, Bukidnon, and the amount of 21,590,384 pesos and 45 centavos. Attached to the said communications are budget documents and technical review analysis for reference and perusal. The committee, after going over the same, finds the said supplemental budget number 3 to be proper and in order, and hereby recommend for the approval of the same subject to the existing budgeting, accounting, and auditing rules and regulations. So moving for the approval of the same, Mr. Presiding Officer. Second is a letter dated April 27, 2026, also coming from the Provincial Budget Officer. Provincial Budget Office, Province of Bukidnon, is transmitted to this August body for appropriate action the annual budget, General Fund, Calendar Year 2026 of the Municipality of Bukidnon in the amount of 519,046,885 pesos. Also attached to the said communications are budget documents and technical review analysis for reference and perusal. The committee, after going over the same, also finds that the said annual budget, General Fund for Calendar Year 2026 of Bukidnon is proper and in order, and thus the committee hereby recommend for the approval of the same, subject to the existing budgeting, accounting, and auditing rules and regulations. So moving for the approval of the same, Mr. Presiding Officer.
Motion is approved.
Last is a letter dated April 27, 2026 also coming from the Office of the Provincial Budget Officer, Provincial Budget Office, Province of Bukidnon, which transmitted to this August body for appropriate action, Supplemental Budget Number 4, General Fund, Calendar Year 2025 of Pangantukan, Bukidnon, in the amount of 20,524,076 pesos and 7 centavos. Likewise, attached to the said communications are budget documents and technical review analysis for reference and perusal. Also, the committee, after going over the same, finds the said supplemental budget number 4 of Pangantukan, Bukidnon to be proper and in order, and we recommend for the approval of the same, subject to the existing rules and regulations of budgeting, auditing, accounting, and auditing rules and regulations. So moving for the approval of the same, Mr. Presiding Officer.
Objections, comments? There being none, motion is approved.
Thank you, Mr. Presiding Officer.
Thank you, Honorable Monsanto. Majority Floor.
Yes, Mr. Presiding Officer, proceeding to our second reading and business for the day. For these 3 items, may we now recognize the gentleman from the 3rd Legislative District, the Honorable Board Member, Casinabit.
Honorable Casinabit is recognized. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Presiding Officer. Thank you, Mr. Majority Floor Leader. Mayong hapon sa atong tanan.
Mayong hapon.
The Committee on Poverty Alleviation and Social Reform, to which was referred Ordinance Number 035-2026 of the 16th SB enacted on January 20 of the Sangguniang Bayan of Don Carlos, Bukidnon, entitled Ordinansa sa Pangkabuhayan at Pagpalakas ng mga Kapansanan or OPPK, pundo sa pagsisimula ng negosyo para sa mga PWD, have considered the same and thereby submit their findings, comments, and recommendations. The committee finds that the ordinance establishes a livelihood and empowerment program for the persons with disabilities, including the provision of financial assistance to support the establishment of small enterprises. The measures is beneficial, inclusive, and within the authority of the local government unit to enact. Section 9 of Republic Act Number 7277, otherwise known as the Magna Carta for Disabled Persons, provides that the person with disabilities shall be entitled to vocational rehabilitation and training programs aim at developing their skills and enhancing their opportunities for gainful employment and livelihood. Moreover, Section 16 of Republic Act Number 7160, otherwise known as the Local Government Code of 1991, provides that every local government unit shall exercise the powers necessary to promote the general welfare of its inhabitants, including the enhancement of social justice, the provision of basic services, and the promotion of economic development. The ordinance not only establishes a localized program that advances the welfare of PWDs through the livelihood assistance and empowerment initiatives, but also provides for the establishment of a special fund, to be known as the PWD Livelihood and Empowerment Fund, to ensure the sustainable implementation and proper allocation of resources for the program. The ordinance is consistent with the mandate of local autonomy, enabling the Sangguniang Bayan to implement programs that effectively respond to the social and economic needs of its constituents. Recommendations: the committee hereby recommend for the approval of Ordinance Number 035-2026 of the 16th SB of the Sangguniang Bayan of Don Carlos Bukidnon for being in order and within the competence of the Sangguniang Bayan to enact. So recommended for the approval of this committee report, Your Honor.
Objections, comments? There being none, motion is approved.
Second committee report, Your Honor, on poverty alleviation and social reform, to which was referred Ordinance Number 2026-138 of the 33rd regular session of the Sangguniang Bayan of Impasugong Bukidnon, entitled An Ordinance Providing Livelihood Assistance to All Accredited Civil Society Organizations, or CSOs, in the municipality of Impasugong Bukidnon, appropriating funds therefore and for other purposes, have considered the same and hereby submit their findings, comments, and recommendations. The committee finds that the ordinance provides livelihood assistance to accredited civil society organizations in the municipality of Impasugong Bukidnon, including the appropriation of funds for this purpose. Upon review, the committee finds that ordinance supportive of community development and within the authority of the local government to enact. Section 36 of Republic Act Number 7160, otherwise known as the Local Government Code of 1991, provides that a local government unit may, through its local chief executive and with the concurrence of the Sangguniang concern, provides assistance, financial or otherwise, to such peoples and non-governmental organizations for economic, socially oriented, environmental, or cultural projects, authorizes the grant of financial assistance to accredited civil society organizations for the implementation of livelihood projects within the municipality. Such assistance is intended to support income-generating activities, enhance the capacity of community-based organizations, and promote their participation in local development initiatives. Accordingly, the ordinance constitutes a valid exercise of the legislative authority of the Sangguniang Bayan in fostering inclusive growth and advancing the general welfare of its constituents. Recommendations: the committee hereby recommend for the approval of Ordinance Number 2026-138, approved on April 13, 2026, of the Sangguniang Bayan of Impasugong Bukidnon for being proper, in order, and within the competence of the Sangguniang Bayan to enact. So recommended for the approval of this committee report, Your Honor.
Objections, comments? There being none, motion is approved.
The last committee report, Your Honor, again, from the Committee on Poverty Alleviation and Social Reform, to which was referred Ordinance Number 2025-158 of the 26th regular session of the Sangguniang Bayan of Impasongpong Bukidnon entitled An Ordinance Prohibiting Mendicancy and Giving of Alms in Public Places within the Municipality of Impasongpong Bukidnon, providing penalties thereof and for other purposes. Findings. The committee finds that the ordinance is in accordance with the mandate of Presidential Decree number 1563 as it seeks to address mendicancy at the local level, promote order in public places, and encourage proper intervention. However, the committee found some substantial and procedural infirmity which affects the validity of the ordinance. Section 447 of Republic Act number 7160, otherwise known as the Local Government Code of 1991, provides that the Sangguniang Bayan may approve ordinances imposing a fine not exceeding 2,500 or an imprisonment for a period not exceeding 6 months or both, at the discretion of the court. For the violation of a municipal ordinance, in view thereof, the penalty provisions of the ordinance must be aligned with the limitations prescribed by the Local Government Code. It must not only directly adopt the penalties of national laws or go beyond. The limits prescribed to ensure its validity and enforceability. Furthermore, Section 511 of the same law requires that ordinances with penal actions must comply with the required posting and publication requirement under the said provision to ensure due notice to the public. The committee finds the submitted ordinance has no supporting documents to show compliance with these requirements. Recommendations. The committee hereby recommend that ordinance number 2025-158 of the Sangguniang Bayan of Impasongpong Bukidnon be referred back to its origin for the purpose of undertaking the necessary corrective revisions to ensure conformity with the existing laws and regulations. So recommended for the approval of this committee report, Your Honor.
Objections, comments? There being none, motion is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. Having majority floor.
Honorable Presiding Officer, proceeding to items number 4 to 7, we will now recognize the Chairman of the Committee on Barangay Local Government, the Honorable Bernardo Godofredo Balansag.
The Honorable Balansag is recognized. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Presiding Officer. Thank you, Mr. Majority Floor Leader. Item number 4 of the committee report. This is a committee report of the Committee on Barangay and Local Governments number 2026-B-0224. Mr. Chairman, the Committee on Barangay and Local Government, which was referred Ordinance number 057-2026 of the 16th ISB, enacted on March 18, 2026 of the Sangguniang Bayan of Don Carlos, Bukidnon, entitled An Ordinance Adopting the Public Financial Transparency through the Enactment of Municipal Ordinance, has considered the same and hereby submits their findings, comments, and recommendations. Findings: the committee finds that the measures to be timely, relevant, and consistent with the declared policies of the state to promote transparency, accountability, and good governance in all levels of public administration. Anchored on Section 28, Article 2 of the 1987 Philippine Constitution, which mandates the state to adopt and implement a policy of all public disclosure of all its transactions involving public interest. Thus, the ordinance institutionalized mechanism that ensure accessibility of financial information to the public, thereby strengthening democratic participation and reinforcing public trust in government institutions. Moreover, The ordinance is firmly supported by Section 16 and 17 of the Republic Act number 7160, otherwise known as the Local Government Code of 1991, which based local government units with the power and responsibility to promote the general welfare, including transparency in governance and efficiency delivery of basic services. Section 352 of the same code further requires local treasurers to post in at least 3 conspicuous places summary of all revenues collected and funds received, as well as disbursement made, thereby emphasizing the importance of financial transparency at the local level. Additionally, Section 305 and 308 underscore the principle of sound fiscal administration, including accountability in the use of public funds and the requirements for proper financial reporting and auditing. The committee likewise notes that the ordinance aligns with the Republic Act number 6713 or the Code of Conduct and Ethical Standards for Public Officials and Employees, which upholds transparency and accountability as fundamental norms of public service, as well as Republic Act 11032, Ease of Doing Business and Efficient Government Service Delivery Act of 2018, in which promotes openness and efficiency in government transactions. Furthermore, the measures complements national efforts to curb corruption, consistent with the policies embodied in Republic Act number 3019 or the Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices. The committee's first finds that the adoption of a public financial transparency ordinance will significantly enhance citizens' participation in governance by providing access to accurate and timely financial information, empower constituents to monitor government expenditures, and ensure that public funds are utilized efficiently and for their intended purposes. It is also seen as a proactive step in institutionalizing reforms that deter corruption and promote integrity within the local government system in the municipality of Don Carlos, Bukidnon. Recommendation: considering the foregoing, the committee hereby recommends for the approval of Ordinance Number 057-0-2026 of the 16th SB, enacted on March 18, 2026 of the Sangguniang Bayan of Don Carlos, Bukidnon, for being proper and in accordance with law and within the scope of authority of Sangguniang Bayan concerned to enact. So recommended for the approval of this committee report, Mr. Chairman.
Objections, comments? There being none, motion is approved.
Item number 5 again is a committee reports on Committee on Barangay and Local Government number 2026-025. Mr. Chairman, the Committee on Barangay and Local Government, which was referred Ordinance number 058-2026, enacted on March 18, 2026 of the Sangguniang Bayan of Don Carlos, Bukidnon, entitled An Ordinance Adopting and Strengthening the Internal Control and Cash Management Policy for the Municipality of Don Carlos, Bukidnon, have considered the same and hereby submits their findings, comments, and recommendations. Findings: the committee finds the ordinance to be legally sound, responsive, and consistent with existing laws, particularly Republic Act number 7160, as Section 16 of the Code authorized local government units to adopt measures necessary to promote the general welfare, including the establishment of efficient and accountable financial management system. Thus, Section 305 mandates that the financial affairs operation of the local government unit shall be governed by sound financial management principle, emphasizing transparency, accountability, and fiscal discipline. Likewise, Section 344 provides that no money shall be disbursed from the local treasury except in pursuant to an appropriation ordinance and in accordance with applicable accounting and auditing rules and regulations. Furthermore, the committee notes that the ordinance is aligned with the national policy direction of the Department of Finance through the Bureau of Local Government Finance, particularly BLG Memorandum Circular number 002-2019, which prescribed the adoption of internal control standards for local government units. These standards are intended to strengthen internal control system, safeguard public funds, prevent irregularities, and ensure government resources are utilized efficiently and strictly for their intended purposes. Hence, the committee finds the enactment of the ordinance to be necessary and proactive measures to enhance financial governance, reinforce internal accountability mechanism, and promote integrity within the municipality of Don Carlos Bukidnon. Recommendation: considering the foregoing, the committee hereby recommends for the approval of ordinance number 058-2026 enacted on March 18, 2026 of the Sangguniang Bayan of Don Carlos Bukidnon for being proper and in accordance with the law and within the scope of authority of the Sangguniang Bayan concerned to enact. Again, recommended for approval of this committee report, Mr. Chairman.
Next comments? There being none, motion is approved.
And the item number 6. Again, the committee report on Committee on Barangay and Local Government number 2026-BS-026. Mr. Chairman, Committee on Barangay and Local Government, to which was referred ordinance number 059-2026 enacted on March 18, 2026 of the Sangguniang Bayan of Don Carlos Bukidnon, entitled An Ordinance Adopting Digital Payment System and Electronic Transaction for the Collection of Taxes, Fees, Charges, and Other Revenues in the Office of the Municipal Treasurer of the Municipality of Don Carlos Bukidnon and for other purposes. Have considered the same and hereby submits the findings, comments, and recommendations. Findings: the committee finds the ordinance to be timely, relevant, and aligned with the current task of the national and local government towards digitalization and improve public service delivery. The measure seeks to institutionalize the use of digital payment system and electronic transaction in the collection of local revenues, thereby promoting efficiency, transparency, and convenience in government financial transactions. The committee recognized that this ordinance is consistent with Section 18, 305, and 318 of Republic Act No. 7160, otherwise known as the Local Government Code of 1991, which uphold the principle of local fiscal autonomy, accountability, transparency, and efficiency in the management of local government resources. Likewise, it is supported by Republic Act No. 8792 or the Electronic Commerce Act of 2000, which gives legal recognition to electronic documents, electronic transaction, and Republic Act No. 11032 for the ease of doing business and efficient government service delivery act of 2018, which mandates the simplification of government processes and adoption of digital innovation to improve public service delivery. The committee further notes that the adoption of digital payment system will enhance revenue collection efficiency, minimize manual processing errors, reduce opportunities for leakage, and provide taxpayers with more accessible and convenient payments option. It will also strengthen transparency and accountability in local government financial operations while supporting the municipal transition towards more modern and technology-driven governance system. Hence, the implementation of this ordinance is seen as a progress step towards improving fiscal management and strengthening public trust in local governance through efficient and source financial system. Recommendation, considering the foregoing, the committee hereby recommends for the approval of Ordinance Number 059-2026 enacted on March 18, 2026 of the Sangguniang Bayan of Don Carlos, Bukidnon for being proper and in accordance with the law and within the scope of authority of the Sangguniang Bayan concerned to enact. So recommended for approval, Mr. Chairman.
Objections, comments? There being none, motion is approved.
Item number 7, again, Mr. Chairman, is committee report to the Committee on Barangay and Local Governments number 2026-B-027. Mr. Chairman, the Committees on Barangay and Local Government to which was referred Ordinance number 071 series of 2026, approved on April 14, 2026 of the Sangguniang Bayan of Sumilao, Bukidnon, entitled An Ordinance Institutionalizing the Sidlak Awards for Barangays as an annual awards and recognition giving to top performing barangays across the governance areas in the municipality of Sumilao, province of Bukidnon, and providing funds therefore. Have considered the same and hereby submits their findings, comments, and recommendation. Findings: the committee finds the ordinance to be highly recommendable, timely, and aligned with the objective of promoting good governance, transparency, accountability, and excellence in local administration. The institutionalization of the Sidlak Awards aims to recognize outstanding performance of barangays in various governance areas, thereby encouraging healthy competition and motivating local officials to continuously improve the delivery of basic services to their constituents. The committee recognized that this measure is consistent with Section 16 and 17 of Republic Act Number 7160, otherwise known as the Local Government Code of 1991, which mandates local government units to promote the general welfare and ensure the efficient and effective delivery of basic services. It also supports the policy of strengthening barangay governance as the primary planning and implementing unit of government programs at the grassroots level. Thus, the ordinance upholds the principle of accountability, transparency, and performance-based governance as enshrined in existing laws and national government policies promoting excellence in the public service. The committee further notes that the Sidlak Awards will serve as an effective mechanism to institutionalize recognition and reward system for exemplary barangays, thereby fostering innovation, improving service delivery, and strengthening community participation in local governance. The appropriation of funds for this purpose is deemed necessary to ensure the sustainability and proper implementation of program in municipality of Sumilao, Bukidnon. Recommendation: considering the foregoing, the committee hereby recommends for the approval of Ordinance Number 071 series of 2026, approved on April 14, 2026 of the Sangguniang Bayan of Sumilao, Bukidnon for being proper and in accordance with the law and within the scope of authority of the Sangguniang Bayan concerned to enact. So recommended for approval, Mr. Chairman.
Objections, comments? There are none, motion is approved.
Thank you, Mr. Presiding Officer.
Thank you, Honorable Balansan.
Thank you. Yes, Honorable Presiding Officer, we will now proceed to items number 8 and 9. For these two items, may we now recognize a gentleman from the 4th Legislative District, the Chairman of the Committee on Health, the Honorable Board Member Dukaji Pepito.
Honorable Pepito is recognized. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Presiding Officer. Item number 8, Committee on Health, which is referred Ordinance number 068 series of 2026, approved on April 14, 2026 of the Sangguniang Bayan of Sumilao, Bukidnon, entitled An Ordinance Establishing the Sumilao Community Access to Recreation and Exercise or CARE Program for LGU employees and the general public through the creation of wellness clubs and integrated community recreational groups. Mr. Presiding Officer, the committee recognizes that the subject ordinance is anchored on Section 16 of RA 7160, otherwise known as the Local Government Code of 1981, which mandates that every local government unit shall exercise the powers expressly granted, those necessarily implied therefrom, as well as powers necessary, appropriate, or incidental for its efficient and effective governance, and those which are essential to the promotion of the general welfare. The ordinance conforms also to Article 2, Section 15 of the 1987 Philippine Constitution, which mandates that the state shall protect and promote the right to health of the people and instill health consciousness among them. Mr. Presiding Officer, the committee, after review, hereby recommend for the approval of Ordinance Number 068, Series of 2026, from the Sangguniang Bayan of Suminaw, Bukidnon, for being properly in order and within the competence of the Sangguniang Bayan concerned to pass. So recommended, Mr. Presiding Officer.
Objections, comments? There being none, motion is approved.
Next item, from the Committee on Health, to which is referred, Ordinance Number 046, Series of 2026, approved on March 18, 2026, from the Sangguniang Bayan of Pangantucan, Bukidnon, entitled An Ordinance Providing for the Percentage Sharing Scheme of the Personal Pool under the Mental Health Program and the TB DOTS Program of the Municipality of Pangantucan, Province of Bukidnon. Mr. Chair, the committee found that the subject ordinance does not cite any legal or regulatory basis, such as pertinent PhilHealth issuances, Department of Health administrative orders, and the like, to support the prescribed percentage sharing scheme. The revised guidelines for the PhilHealth outpatient anti-tuberculosis directly observed treatment short course or DOTS benefits for TB DOTS, particularly in cases where the health facility has no prior existing policy, therefore, the effectivity of the circular. The prescribed sharing scheme is as follows: 40% for health facility fee, 25% referring physician, 35% for TB DOTS staff. In the absence of a referring physician, the corresponding share is reallocated to the health facility. Further, the outpatient benefit package of mental health under PhilHealth Circular Number 2023-0018 does not provide a specific sharing scheme for professional fees or facility allocation. Thus, any proposed distribution through an ordinance should be supported with a clear legal basis to avoid confusion in implementation. Hence, it is more respectfully recommended that the enabling ordinance explicitly cites relevant legal basis and or supporting issuances to ensure clarity, compliance, and objective implementation. Mr. Presiding Officer, the committee, after review, hereby recommend to refer back Ordinance Number 046, Series of 2026, to its origin for the compliance of the stated findings. So recommended, Mr. Presiding Officer.
Objections, comments? There being none, motion is approved.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Pipito.
Honorable Presiding Officer, proceeding to item number 10 to 31. This is in the Committee on Laws. Honorable Presiding Officer, the gentleman from the 4th Legislative District, the Honorable Board Member Attorney Oliver Owen Baba Garcia.
Thank you very much. Recognized. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you very much, Majority Floor Leader, Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, staff, mayong hapon sa tanan. Item number 10 is a joint committee report of the Committees on Laws, Justice, Human Rights, Agriculture, and Cooperatives, and Rules and Privileges. Committee report number L-221, Y-021, and R-853. Mr. Chairman, the committees to which was referred letter dated November 25, 2025 of Provincial Governor Helio P. Roque, requesting this August body for an authority to enter into a memorandum of agreement with by the Provincial Government of Bukidnon and the Central Mindanao University, have considered the same and hereby submit their findings, comments, and recommendations. The committee deliberated on the proposed memorandum of agreement between the Provincial Government of Bukidnon and the Central Mindanao University, particularly the responsibilities of the provincial government under Section C of the said MOA. During the deliberation, Section C, number 2, which requires the provincial government to provide the equipment and materials necessary for the genotyping component of the research, was raised for clarification. The chair emphasized the necessity of clearly specifying the equipment to be procured, the estimated cost, and the source of funds, and the entity responsible for procurement, considering that the obligation entails a financial commitment on the part of the provincial government. It was explained
that the project involves DNA sequencing and reverse sequencing of coffee varieties in support of the Bukidnon Coffee Roadmap, with the objective of ensuring the scientific verification, traceability, and authenticity of Arabica coffee varieties in the province. The initial project cost of approximately 1.5 million, which is included in the Coffee Roadmap 2025 to 2035 allocation, shall cover laboratory equipment, consumables, and project operational expenses. It was likewise clarified that the equipment to be procured may subsequently be donated to the CMU Coffee Center Laboratory upon completion of the project. Furthermore, the Provincial Agriculture Office, PAGRO, requested that the MOA incorporate provisions clearly defining the scope of the DNA sequencing and reverse sequencing activities, covering not only the 58-something sites in the province of Bukidnon initially identified by CMU, but also the sequencing of mother trees and seedlings procured and distributed by the provincial government, with the necessary samples to be sent to Korea for reverse sequencing in order to ensure the scientific verification and authenticity of the coffee varieties. After due deliberation, the committees found the explanations and clarifications satisfactory, subject to the incorporation of the necessary amendments in the MOA. Accordingly, the committees recommend for the approval of the proposed MOA between the Provincial Government of Bukidnon and Central Mindanao University, subject to clarifications and amendments discussed during the meeting. Recommendations. The committee, after careful review, hereby recommend for the adoption and approval of the request of the Provincial Governor, Aurelio Roque, to enter into a memorandum of agreement with the by and between the Provincial Government of Bukidnon and the Central Mindanao University. So recommended, Mr. Chair.
Objections, comments? There are none. Motion is approved.
May I just pass the resolution, Mr. Chair?
Please proceed.
A resolution authorizing the Provincial Governor, Honorable Rogelio Neil P. Roque, to enter into a memorandum of agreement between the Provincial Government of Bukidnon and Central Mindanao University for research collaboration on DNA barcoding of Bukidnon Arabica coffee varieties as an integral component of the Bukidnon Coffee Roadmap 2025 to 2035. So moving for the approval of the said resolution, Mr. Chair.
Objections, comments? There being none, motion is approved.
Item number 11 is a committee report of the Committee on Laws, Justice, and Human Rights, Committee Report number L-222. Mr. Chairman, the Committee on Laws, to which was referred Ordinance number 05-2026, Series of 2026, approved on March 26, 2026 of the Sangguniang Panlalawigan, Bukidnon, entitled An Ordinance Amending Municipal Ordinance number 94-17, entitled An Ordinance Prohibiting the Tethering and Pasturing of Animals Along the Roads and Highways within the municipality and providing penalties for violation thereof, have considered the same and hereby submit their findings, comments, and recommendations. Findings. The ordinance seeks to strengthen existing regulations on the tethering, grazing, and pasturing of animals along municipal roads, highways, and public pathways within the municipality of Cabangan, with the end in view of promoting public safety and preventing road hazards. The committees note that the measures clearly defines prohibited acts, including allowing animals to roam, graze, or remain along roads and road easements in a manner that obstructs traffic or endangers motorists and pedestrians. It further establishes the responsibility of animal owners or custodians to properly restrain and secure their animals within designated areas. The committee finds that the measure is a valid exercise of the police power of the municipality under Republic Act 7160, particularly in promoting public safety and regulating the use of public roads. The committees find that the measure is in line with the policy to promote public safety and prevent road hazards. Recommendations. The committee, after careful study, will recommend for the approval of Ordinance number 05-2026, Series of 2026, approved on March 26, 2026, at the Sangguniang Bayan of Cabangan, Bukidnon, for being proper, in order, and within the scope of Sangguniang Bayan to enact. So recommended, Mr. Chair.
Objections, comments? There are none, motion is approved.
Item number 12 is a committee report of the Committee on Laws, Committee Report number L-223. Mr. Chairman, the Committee on Laws, to which was referred Ordinance number 18-2026, Series of 2026,
approved on March 2026 of the Sangguniang Bayan of Cabangan, Bukidnon, entitled An Ordinance Institutionalizing a Municipal Legal Assistance Program for Victims of Human Rights Violation in the Municipality of Cabangan, providing funds therefore and for other purposes, have considered the same, and hereby submit their findings, comments, and recommendations. Findings. The ordinance seeks to institutionalize a municipal legal assistance program for victims of human rights in the Municipality of Cabangan, with the end in view of providing accessible legal support, assistance, and related services to vulnerable and marginalized sectors. The committee's notes that the measure establishes a municipal legal assistance desk under the office of the municipal mayor to receive complaints, provide initial legal guidance and counseling, coordinate with relevant agencies, and assist in the preparation and filing of cases before appropriate bodies. It likewise promotes collaboration with the Public Attorney's Office, Commission on Human Rights, Integrated Bar of the Philippines, and other accredited service providers to ensure the effective delivery of legal aid services. The committee finds that the measure is in line with a policy to uphold and protect fundamental human rights and to provide accessible support service at the local level. Recommendations. The committee, after careful study, hereby recommend for the approval of Ordinance Number 18-2026, Series of 2026, approved on March 26, 2026 at Sangguniang Bayan of Cabangan, Bukidnon, for being proper, in order, and within the scope of the Sangguniang Panlalawigan. So recommended, Mr. Chair.
Objections, comments? There being none, motion is approved.
Item number 13 is a committee report of the Committee on Laws, Committee Report number L-224. Mr. Chair, the Committee on Laws to which was referred, Ordinance number 22-2026, Series of 2026, approved on March 2026 of the Sangguniang Bayan of Cabangan, Bukidnon, entitled An Ordinance Regulating the Drinking of Hard Liquor in Public Places with Exemptions During Duly Authorized Public Gatherings in the Municipality of Cabangan. Have considered the same, hereby submit their findings, comments, and recommendations. Findings. The ordinance seeks to regulate the consumption of hard liquor in public places within the Municipality of Cabangan in order to promote public order, safety, and decency while allowing controlled and responsible drinking during duly authorized public gatherings. The committees note that the measures defines prohibited acts, provides reasonable exemptions for permitted events subject to specific conditions, and establishes responsibilities on the part of the event organizers to ensure compliance with applicable laws and regulations. It likewise provides for the imposition of penalties for violations and designates appropriate authorities for its enforcement, thereby ensuring effective implementation. The committee finds that the measure is in line with the policy to promote public order, safety, and protect public health. It further finds that the enactment thereof is within the authority of the Sangguniang Bayan under Republic Act No. 7160, particularly the General Welfare Clause, and is consistent with state policy to maintain peace and order and safeguard public health under the 1987 Constitution. Recommendations. The committee, after careful study, hereby recommend for the approval of Ordinance Number 22-2026, approved on March 26, 2026 in Sangguniang Bayan of Cabangan, Bukidnon, for being proper, in order, and with the scope of Sangguniang Panlalawigan. So recommended, Mr. Chair.
Objections, comments? There are none, motion is approved.
Mr. Chair, item number 14 to 24 are all executive orders from the municipality of Don Carlos. All of them were reviewed, and all of the executive orders were approved by the committee. So with that, Mr. Chair, I move for the omnibus motion to approve Executive Order number 001, Series of 2025, entitled An Order Reconstituting the Bids and Awards Committee, its Secretariat, Technical Working Group, and Observers in the Municipality of Don Carlos, Bukidnon. Executive Order number 003, entitled an order establishing and implementing an alcohol-free policy program for the municipal government of Bukidnon, of Don Carlos, Bukidnon. Executive Order number 006, an order reorganizing the Municipal Awards Committee and the Municipal Assessment Team for the implementation of the calendar year 2025 Lupong Tagapamayapa Incentives Award in the Municipality of Don Carlos, Bukidnon. Executive Order Number 013, an order reconstituting the Committee on Anti-Red Tape for the Municipality Government of Don Carlos, Bukidnon. And Executive Order Number 17 is an order reconstituting the Local Governance Transition Team of the Municipality of Don Carlos, Bukidnon. Executive Order Number 28 is an order reconstituting the composition of the Market Evaluation Committee and its Technical Working Group. Executive Order Number 29, an order updating the designated civil society organization desk officer in the Municipality of Don Carlos, Bukidnon. Executive Order Number 30, an order creating the Comprehensive Development Plan Technical Working Group of the Municipality of Don Carlos, Bukidnon and defining its composition and functions. Executive Order Number 32, an order creating the Comprehensive Development Plan, CDP, 2026 to 2031, planning team of the Municipality of Don Carlos, Bukidnon, and defining its composition and function. Executive Order Number 33, an order reconstituting the Local Investment and Incentive Board of the Municipality of Don Carlos, Bukidnon. And then, Executive Order Number 34, an order reconstituting the Municipal Community-Based Monitoring System, CBMS, Coordinating Board in the Municipality of Don Carlos, Bukidnon. Move for the approval of the said committee reports, Mr. Chair, involving the said executive order, subject to staff.
Objections, comments? There being none, the omnibus motion is hereby approved.
Item number 25 is a committee report of the Committee on Laws, Justice and Human Rights, Committee Report number L-236. Mr. Chair, the Committee on Laws, to which was referred Ordinance number 2026-2318, 7th regular session, approved on March 6, 2026, with Sangguniang Panlalawigan of Manolo Fortich, Bukidnon, entitled An Ordinance Establishing a 50-50% Counterpart Funding Scheme between the Local Government Unit of Manolo Fortich and the Barangay Local Government Units for the implementation of barangay infrastructure development projects and other priority programs, have considered the same and hereby submit their findings, comments, and recommendations. Findings. The ordinance established a structured 50-50% counterpart funding scheme between the LGU of Manolo Fortich and the barangay local government units to finance barangay development projects and priority programs. Pursuant to the General Welfare Clause under Republic Act No. 7160, the measure authorized the LGU to advance local development initiatives. It required BLGUs to submit duly supported project proposals specifying scope, objectives, and cost estimates subject to evaluation and approval. The execution of a memorandum agreement along with complete project documentation and implementation schedules was mandated prior to fund release. Notwithstanding the nominal 50-50% counterpart framework, the committee underscores that the implementation of the funding scheme must be guided by the principle of equity rather than strict equality. In this regard, it is recognized that barangays vary in terms of financial capability, revenue generation, and resource endowments. As a recommendation, the LGU of Manolo Fortich may adopt a flexible and responsive approach in determining the counterpart contributions, particularly in favor of barangays with limited fiscal capacity, in order to ensure that development opportunities are not foreclosed by economic constraints. Such equitable consideration is consistent with state policy of inclusive development and the constitutional mandate to promote social justice through equitable distribution of opportunities and resources. Recommendations. The committee, after careful study, hereby recommend for the approval of Ordinance Number 2026-2318, 7th regular session, approved on March 6, 2026, of the Sangguniang Panlalawigan of Manolo Fortich, Bukidnon, for being proper, in order, and in the scope of Sangguniang Panlalawigan. So recommended.
Objections, comments? There being none, motion is approved.
Item number 26 to 29, or 4 items, are ordinances from the municipality of Don Carlos. They were informed, Mr. Chair, prior to this report, that there were no publications attached to these ordinances and therefore should be returned for compliance of the Local Government Code. With that, Mr. Chair, I move for the omnibus motion to approve Committee Report number L-237-R855 on entitled an ordinance implementing 100% smoke-free policy and a smoking prohibition on all areas of government premises. Committee Report number 2026-017, an order reconstituting the Municipal Peace and Order Municipal Peace and Order Council in the municipality of Don Carlos, Bukidnon, establishing its special action committees. Item number 27 is the comprehensive anti-littering ordinance of the municipality of Don Carlos, Bukidnon, and providing penalties thereof and for other purposes. Item number 28 is an ordinance prohibiting the construction and occupation of illegal dwelling units within no-build zones, danger areas, and other prohibited places in all barangays of the municipality of Don Carlos and providing penalties therefore. And finally, an ordinance adopting and implementing the Safe Spaces Act in the municipality of Don Carlos, strengthening local mechanisms against gender-based sexual harassment in streets, public spaces, workplaces, educational institutions, and online platforms, providing support services for victims and imposing penalties for violation thereof. The move for the approval of the said committee reports, Mr. Chair, returning the same for lack of publication. So moving, Mr. Chair.
Objections, comments? If there are none, motion is approved.
Item number 30 and number 30. Committee report of the Committee on Peace and Order, Committee report number 017. The Committee on Peace and Order, to which was referred, Executive Order number MBOP 022-2025 dated July 7, 2025, from the Office of the Municipal Mayor of Don Carlos Bukidnon, entitled An Order Reconstituting the Municipal Peace and Order Council in the Municipality of Don Carlos Bukidnon, establishing special action committees and technical working group. Have considered the same and hereby submit their findings, comments, and recommendations. Findings. The Executive Order seeks to reconstitute the Municipal Peace and Order Council of the Municipality of Don Carlos, including the establishment of special action committees and technical working group in order to strengthen the coordination and implementation of peace and order and public safety programs within the locality. The reconstitution of the MPOC is consistent with the provisions of Public Act 7160, otherwise known as the Local Government Code 1991, which mandates local government units to maintain peace and order within their respective jurisdictions. It likewise aligns with Executive Order number 773, which provides for the organization of local peace and order councils as well as relevant issuances of the Department of Interior and Local Government, including Memorandum Circular number 2019-143, prescribing updated guidelines on the organization and functions of the peace and order councils. The measure further provides for functions of the MPOC, its secretariat, and its component committees, including the formulation and implementation of policies, coordination among agencies, and submission of regular reports, thereby promoting accountability, efficiency, and responsiveness in governance. The committees find the measure to be proper, well-supported, and responsive to the need of a more coordinated and effective approach in maintaining peace and order and ensuring public safety within the municipality. Recommendation. The committee, after careful study, hereby recommend for the approval of Executive Order number 22-2025 dated July 7, 2025 from the Office of the Municipal Mayor of Don Carlos Bukidnon for being proper, in order, and within the scope of the local chief executive to promulgate. So recommended, Mr. Chair.
Objections, comments? There are none. Motion is approved.
Item 31 is a joint committee report of the Committee on Peace and Order and Rules and Privileges. Committee report number 08018 and R854. Committees on Peace and Order and Rules and Privileges, to which was referred Municipal General Ordinance number 2025-514, 11th SB, 140th regular session, approved on April 8, 2025 of Kalilangan, Bukidnon, entitled An Ordinance Mandating the Exclusive Use of Solar Power Light Poles and Closed-Circuit Television Poles for the attachment of cables supporting the installation of LGU CCTV cameras in the jurisdiction of the municipality of Kalilangan. Have considered the same, hereby submit their findings, comments, and recommendations. Findings. The ordinance recognizes the need for solar-powered light poles as a sustainable and renewable energy source to support the lighting and operational needs of CCTV cameras. Utilizing existing solar power systems will reduce the need for additional infrastructure while ensuring a reliable power supply for surveillance and public lighting. The ordinance is anchored on Section 16, General Welfare Clause, and Section 447, letter A-1-6 of the Republic Act 7160, otherwise known as the Local Government Code of 1991, which authorized local government units to enact ordinances promoting public safety, peace and order, and the proper regulation of public infrastructure within their jurisdiction. The use of solar-powered light poles provides a reliable and sustainable power source for LGU CCTV surveillance system and public lighting in the municipality of Kalilangan. Regulating cable attachments helps prevent unauthorized connections, protect government property, and ensure the efficient operation of surveillance facilities. The ordinance further strengthens enforcement by identifying prohibited acts and providing corresponding penalties. Hence, the ordinance is consistent with the powers granted to the municipality of Kalilangan under Republic Act 7160 and supportive of efforts to enhance public safety, protect municipal infrastructure, and promote efficient use of renewable energy resources. Recommendations. The committees, after careful study, hereby recommend for the approval of Municipal General Ordinance Number 2025-514, 11 SB, 148th regular session, approved on April 8, 2025, of Kalilangan Bukidnon for being proper, in order, and within the scope of the Sangguniang Bayan to enact. So recommended, Mr. Chair.
Objections, comments? There are none. Motion is approved.
Honorable Presiding Officer, proceeding to item number 32. This is in the Committee on Environmental Protection and Climate Change with this representation. Honorable Presiding Officer.
Please proceed, sir.
Thank you. This is a joint committee report in the Committee on Environmental Protection, Climate Change, Disaster Preparedness, to which was referred a letter dated February 29, 2026, with attachment of Mary Jane L. Dominguez, the Head Permit Section National Water Resource Board, 8th floor, the NIA building, Diliman, Quezon City, entitled Requesting Sangguniang Panlalawigan of Bukidnon to post for a period of 15 calendar days in the Sangguniang Panlalawigan Bulletin Board the water permit application number X-Book-2026-11-157 filed by the water pole suites. Have considered the same, hereby submit the findings, comments, and the recommendation. The applicant seeks authorization for the utilization of the 1.97 liter per second of the water specifically to support the operational requirements. This report relative to the water use application filed by the water pole switch located at Porok 3, Casisa, Malebalay City, Bukidnon. The water pole switch demonstrates its commitment to responsible resource management, compliance with environmental regulations, and support the Bukidnon's broader efforts to balance development and ecological sustainability. Upon careful review and verification, the committee finds that the application complies with requirements set forth under the provision of the Water Code of the Philippines and related laws governing the appropriation, utilization, protection of the water resources. Considering the foregoing findings, the committees conclude that water application of the water pole switch is in order, legally compliant, and environmental sustainable. It is therefore recommended for the approval, subject to the continuous monitoring by concerned agencies to ensure the compliance with established standards and the protection of the public interest. Recommendation of the committee hereby recommend to approve the request for posting and request of Secretary to issue a certificate upon completion of the submission of the necessary required documents of the water permit application number X-Book-2026 -0-11-01 01-11-157 filed by the water pole switch located Porok 3, Casisa, Malebalay City, Bukidnon for being proper in order and within the scope of the Sangguniang to enact. So recommended for adoption and approval of this committee report, Honorable Presiding Officer.
Objections, comments? There are none. Motion is approved.
Thank you, Honorable Presiding Officer. From items number 33 to 37, despite items, the Committee on Ways and Means, Trade and Industry, may we now recognize a gentleman from the 2nd Legislative District, the Honorable Board Member Marlon Brando Dinlay.
Honorable Marlon Dinlay is recognized. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Majority Floor Leader and Mr. Presiding Officer, to all honorable members of this August body, to all of us here, once again, madagway hapon kanilang following committee report of the Committee on Ways and Means, Trade and Industries. My first item, Mr. Presiding Officer, the Committee on Ways and Means, Trade and Industry, to which was referred Ordinance Number 09-2026, Series of 2026, approved on 26th of March 2026 of the Sangguniang Panlalawigan of Province Bukidnon, entitled An Ordinance Exempting the payment from all fees pertaining to marriage applications and solemnization during the conduct of mass wedding ceremonies by the municipal government of Cabanatuan, starting calendar year 2026 and every year thereafter, have been considered the same and hereby submit its findings, comments, and recommendations. Findings: mass wedding ceremony is scheduled annually in Cabanatuan, Bukidnon as part of its social welfare, gender and development, and poverty alleviation programs. This activity is usually free of being charged in a very low cost, as the local government unit or organizers shoulder expenses for the venue, officiating services, processing of marriage license intended for low-income couple who cannot afford a private wedding. Section 16 of Republic Act 7160 confirms that every local government unit shall exercise the powers expressly granted, those necessarily implied therefrom, as well as powers necessary, appropriate, incidental for its efficient and effective governance, and those which are essential to the promotion of the general welfare. Section 186 of same code states that local government units may exercise the power to levy taxes, fees, or charges on any base or subject not otherwise specifically enumerated herein or taxed under the provisions of the National Internal Revenue Code as amended or other applicable laws, provided that the taxes, fees, or charges shall not be unjust, excessive, oppressive, confiscatory, or contrary to declared national policy provided. The exemption from marriage-related fees during municipality-sponsored mass weddings advance inclusive governance, legal recognition of families, and social protection. The ordinance shall apply to all qualified couples joining such activity, regardless of religious affiliation, provided that at least one party is a resident of the municipality. Recommendation: considering the foregoing, the committee hereby recommend for the approval of ordinance number 09-2026, series of 2026, approved on 26th of March 2026 of the Sangguniang Panlalawigan of Cabanatuan, Bukidnon, for being in accordance with law and within the authority of the Sangguniang concerned to enact. It's recommended, Mr. Presiding Officer.
Objections, comments? If there are none, motion is approved.
Second item, number 34, referred ordinance number 11-2026, series of 2026, approved on March 26, 2026 of the Sangguniang Bayan of Cabanatuan, Bukidnon, entitled An Ordinance Regulating the Posting, Regular Updating, and Strict Compliance of the Price Monitoring Board in Cabanatuan Public Market and providing penalties for violation thereof, have been considered the same and hereby submit its findings, comments, and recommendations. Findings: Republic Act number 7581, otherwise known as the Price Act, mandates the protection of consumers against unreasonable increases in the price of basic necessities and prime commodities. The local government unit of Kapulasan recognizes the need to ensure transparency, fairness, and consumer protection in the public market. The posting of the price monitoring board in conspicuous places within the public market will serve as a guide to both consumers and vendors and will help prevent overpricing and other unfair trade practices. The municipal market administrator, the municipal agriculture office, or any authorized office shall post and regularly update to reflect the current official prices of basic necessities of prime commodities. The ordinance shall apply to all the vendors, stallholders, retailers, and business establishments operating within the public market and other designated market areas under the jurisdiction of the local government unit of Kapulasan. Recommendation. Considering the foregoing, the committee hereby recommend for the approval of ordinance number 11-2026, series of 2026, approved on March 26, 2026 of the Sangguniang Bayan of Kapulasan Bukidnon for being in accordance with law and within the authority of the Sangguniang concerned to enact. Recommended, Mr. Presiding Officer.
Objections, comments? There are none. Motion is approved.
Third item, number 35. Referred ordinance number 37-2026, Sangguniang Panlalawigan. 30th regular session approved on 18th of March 2026 of the Sangguniang Panlalawigan of Valencia City, Bukidnon, entitled An Ordinance Updating Stall Rental Fees in the City Farmers Market have been considered the same and hereby submit its findings, comments, and recommendations. Findings. The ordinance seeks to modify the rental fee term to accumulate additional income through the collection of daily rental fees and aligns rental fees with factors like stalls, location, and demand, so rates are reasonable and proportional at the width section of the newly built stalls at the farmers market. This initiative has been realized to address rising maintenance and operating costs of the facility and ensure sustainable market operations. It will also prevent unfair advantages where some vendors pay much less than the actual value of their space being rented. Republic Act Number 7160, otherwise known as the Local Government Code of 1991, empowers local government units to enact tax ordinances and other revenue measures, impose taxes, fees, charges, and promote local economic development and the general welfare of its inhabitants. While rates may increase, but the improved facilities and better market environment help vendors attract more customers and increase sales, offsetting the additional cost. Consequently, updating stall rental is not just about increasing income, but being the market functional, fair, and beneficial for everyone. Recommendation. Considering the foregoing, the committee hereby recommend for the approval of ordinance number 37-2026, then SP 30th regular session approved on 18th of March 2026 of the Sangguniang Panlalawigan of Valencia City, Bukidnon, for being in accordance with law and within the authority of the Sangguniang concerned to enact. So recommended, Mr. Presiding Officer.
Objections, comments? There are none. Motion is approved.
Fourth, item number 36, referred ordinance number 2026-010 enacted on March 25, 2026 of the Sangguniang Bayan of Maramag, Bukidnon, entitled An Ordinance Amending Subsection 3.2 of Ordinance number 2025-107 entitled An Ordinance Establishing the Maramag Go Negosyo Act, adopting the implementing rules and regulations from Republic Act Number 10644, an act promoting job generation and inclusive growth through the development. Having considered the same and hereby submit its findings, comments, and recommendations. Findings. The ordinance seeks to modify a sub-provision of the Municipal Ordinance Number 2025-107, which is the Maramag-Go Negosyo Act, and to institutionalize the implementing rules and regulations for Republic Act Number 10644, an act generating more jobs and achieving inclusive progress through the advancement. Micro, small, and medium enterprises, MES, serve as an indispensable driver of economic progress in the municipality of Maramag. They contribute significantly to generating employment opportunities, fostering entrepreneurship, boosting local investments, and strengthening industries rooted in the community. On June 15, 2015, the 12th Sangguniang Panlalawigan of Maramag enacted Ordinance Number 2015-107, in which under Section 3, Subsection 3.2 provides for the organization, composition, powers, and functions of the Micro, Small, and Medium Enterprise Development Council of the municipality. On October 7, 2025, the Department of Interior and Local Government, Region 10, Bukidnon, Provincial Office issued an advisory reiterating DILG Memorandum Circular Number 22-107, directing local government units to organize and or strengthening their respective small and medium enterprise development, or SMED, councils, and to submit the necessary documentation to the Department of Trade and Industry for proper coordination with the Provincial SMED Council. The said memorandum circular prescribes a standardized composition and clearly defined functions of the SMED Council to ensure effective coordination among local government officers, national government agencies, private sector representatives, financial institutions, and business stakeholders. The amendatory ordinance therefore seeks to revise subsection 3.2 of Ordinance Number 2015-107, including the official designation of the Council in order to strengthen its structure and functionality without creating a new body, thereby ensuring policy continuity, institutional efficiency, and sustained support for MSME development in the municipality of Maramag. Recommendation. Considering the foregoing, the committee hereby recommend for the approval of Ordinance Number 2026-010 enacted on March 25, 2026 of the Sangguniang Panlalawigan of Maramag, Bukidnon, for being in accordance with law and within the authority of the Sangguniang concerned to enact. Recommended, Mr. Presiding Officer.
Objections, comments? There are none. Motion is approved.
Fifth and the last item, referred Ordinance Number 043, Series of 2026, approved on March 18, 2026 of the Sangguniang Panlalawigan of Pangantukan, Bukidnon, entitled An Ordinance Prescribing the Rental Rates and Guidelines for the Use of the Self-Loading Vehicle owned by the Municipal Government of Pangantukan, Bukidnon, have been considered the same and hereby submit its findings, comments, and recommendations. Findings. The ordinance seeks to suggest for the coverage of the rental rates and criteria in the usage of self-loading vehicle possessed by the local government unit of Pangantukan by individuals, groups, organizations, or other government agencies. Section 129 of Republic Act 7160 otherwise known as the Local Government Code of 1991, and in relation to Article 10, Section 5 of the 1987 Philippine Constitution provides that each local government unit shall exercise its powers to create its own sources of revenue and levy taxes, fees, and charges subject to the provisions herein, consistent with the basic policy of local autonomy. Such taxes, fees, and charges shall accrue exclusively to the local governments. Terms and conditions include that all LGU-related projects shall have priority over private or non-government rentals. Requests for private use shall be arranged in the order they are received, subject to the prior authorization and approval of the municipal mayor, and the rental fee must be paid in full before using the vehicle. All revenues generated from rental fees shall accrue to the general fund of the municipality. A specific portion of these funds shall be reserved and allocated for the maintenance and repair of the self-loading vehicle to ensure the unit remains operational, functional, and sustainable in the long term. Recommendation. Considering the foregoing, the committee hereby recommend for the approval of Ordinance Number 043, Series of 2026, approved on March 18, 2026 of the Sangguniang Bayan of Pangantukan, Bukidnon, for being in accordance with law and within the authority of the Sangguniang concerned to enact. So recommended, Mr. Presiding Officer.
Objections, comments? There are none. Motion is approved.
Thank you, Honorable Presiding Officer.
Thank you, Honorable Marlon Brando Del Lion. Would you take the floor?
Yes, Honorable Presiding Officer, we will now proceed to the new business for the day. For item number 38, 39 and 40 by this representation, Honorable Presiding Officer.
Please proceed, sir.
Thank you. For item number 38, this is a proposed resolution authored by this representation. A resolution congratulating and commending Pierre E. Ispioko, a grade 12 student of Central Mindanao University Laboratory Senior High School for the exemplary achievement as a Diamond Awardee in the Global English Language of Southeast Asia Academic Competition International Round 2026 held in Singapore, April 5 to 8, 2026. Whereas the Global English Language of Southeast Asia Academic Competition is recognized as one of the most prestigious international contests in the region, bringing together students from diverse nations to showcase their mastery of the English language, critical thinking, and communication skills. Whereas the international round of the Global English Language of Southeast Asia 2026 was held in Singapore from April 5 to 8, 2026, gathering the brightest young minds from across the Southeast Asia to compete in rigorous academic challenges designed to test not only linguistic proficiency, but also analytical reasoning, creativity, and global awareness. Whereas among the distinguished participants was Pierre E. Ispioko, a grade 12 student from Central Mindanao University Laboratory Senior High School, who represented the institution and their country with remarkable dedication, discipline, and excellence. Whereas through the unwavering commitment to academic excellence and her ability to rise above challenges, Pierre Ispioko achieved a Diamond Award, the highest recognition bestowed upon participants, signifying her exceptional performance and mastery in the competition. Whereas her achievements also underscores the quality of education provided by the Central Mindanao University Laboratory Senior High School, whose faculty and administration have nurtured her talents and instilled in her values of discipline, integrity, and lifelong learning. Whereas the provincial government of Bukidnon and the entire nation stand to benefit from the inspiration and example set by the students who achieved international recognition, as their accomplishment contribute to the collective reputation of the Philippines as a country of excellence, resilience, and talent. Thus, Honorable Presiding Officer, I move to pass a resolution congratulating and commending Pierre A. Estioco, a grade 12 student of Central Mindanao University Laboratory Senior High School, for an exemplary achievement as Diamond Awardee in the Global English Language of Southeast Asia Academic Competition International Round 2026 held in Singapore, April 5 to 8, 2026. So moving for that passage of resolution, Honorable Presiding Officer.
Unanimously seconded, the motion is approved.
And copy the same of this resolution be furnished to Pierre Estioco as a token of appreciation and recognition of his outstanding achievements.
When would you like to have it awarded?
Well, Honorable Presiding Officer, actually, she has already 2 awards. The swimming, the other one is swimming, and this one is in Global English. So I think, Honorable Presiding Officer, this will be given during the award convocation in the month of June.
Month of June?
Yes, Honorable Presiding
So
Officer.
she's both...
The one that award is it? The swimming is, I think, that was held in Thailand, and the other one is in Singapore, and this is the Global English Language Awardee, Diamond Award.
Wow.
Yeah.
She's both talented intellectually and athletically.
Yeah. So this will be given during the
She's
June.
from which town is she from?
I think she's from Valencia, I think, Honorable Presiding Officer.
Valencia.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Mr. Secretary, please take note of the...
Please note, Mr. Presiding Officer.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Presiding Officer. Proceeding to item number 39.
Go ahead, sir.
39 and 14, Honorable Presiding Officer. This is an endorsement dated May 6, 2026 from the provincial department head, PJSO, the bank chairman, Attorney Nestor Icais, for adding the documents for item number 39. This is illegal documents of BNM3 Enterprises with an office address located at the Novel 1 Purok Greenville, Tubod, Iligan City, applying for the accreditation as a contractor to engage business with the provincial government of Bukidnon. And item number 41. This is also a document forwarded to us coming from the provincial government department head and the bank chairman, Attorney Nestor Icais, regarding the set of legal documents of the Avex Corporation with an office address located at number 21 Don Gregorio Street, Don Antonio Heights, Diliman, Quezon City. Again, these 2 items applying for the accreditation to engage business with the provincial government of Bukidnon, having established that this 2 firm has fully complied with the necessary obligation, essential requirements to transact business as per evaluation conducted by the Bids and Awards Committee. Thus, these 2 items recommended for the approval of the accreditation in the provincial government. So moving for the omnibus motion for the passage of the resolution approving the accreditation of these 2 items, item number 39 and item number 14, Honorable Presiding Officer.
Objections, comments? There being none, motion is approved.
Thank you, Honorable Presiding Officer. Proceeding to item number 41, we will now recognize the gentleman from the Second Legislative District, the Chairman of the Committee on Appropriation, the Honorable Member Attorney Holisy Monsanto.
The Honorable Monsanto is recognized, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Presiding Officer. This is again a communication referred to the Committee on Appropriations, which is particularly a letter dated April 30, 2026, with attachment also coming from the Office of the Provincial Budget Officer, Province of Bukidnon, which transmitted to this august body for appropriate action the supplemental budget number 2, General Fund and Special Account, Economic Enterprise Calendar Year 2025 of the Municipality of Sumilao, Bukidnon in the amount of 28,399,279 pesos and 13 centavos. As attached to the said communications are budget documents and technical review analysis for reference and perusa. After going over the same, the committee finds the same to be proper and in order, and hereby recommend for the approval of the said supplemental budget number 2, General Fund and Social Account, Economic Enterprise for calendar year 2025 of Sumilaw, Bukidnon, for being proper and in order subject to the existing budgeting, accounting, and auditing rules and regulations. So recommended, Mr. Presiding Officer.
Objections, comments? There being none, motion is approved.
Thank you, Honorable Presiding Officer. We will now proceed to item number 42. Honorable Presiding Officer, we will now recognize the gentleman from the 4th Legislative District, the incoming Majority Floor Leader, the Honorable Province Bukidnon.
Honorable Peter is recognized. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Presiding Officer and Mr. Forever Majority Floor. This item number 42, Mr. Presiding Officer, from the Committee on Civil Service is a letter dated May 4, 2026 from the Office of the Provincial Governor, Governor Rogelio Niel P. Roque. Mr. Presiding Officer, I move to pass an ordinance to cause the retitling of the parenthetical title of Administrative Assistant 3, Stenographic Reporter 2, into Administrative Assistant 3, Secretary 2, bearing plantilla item number PLO 3 of the Provincial Legal Office. So moving, Mr. Presiding Officer.
Any objections, comments? There being none, motion is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Tito.
The last item that we have in the new business for the day, Honorable Presiding Officer, we will now recognize the gentleman from the 4th Legislative District, the Honorable Board Member Atty. Owen Bato Garcia.
The time is 3:15.
Recognized. Go ahead, sir.
The time is 3:15, Mr. Chair. Let's break the record. Item 40 is a letter dated May 7, 2026 with attachment from the Governor requesting his August body for authority to enter into a memorandum agreement with Wine Medical Clinic for engagement of their services. I move to approve the request of the Governor and pass a resolution authorizing the Governor to sign a memorandum agreement with Wine Medical Services for the engagement of their services.
When none is granted, the motion is approved.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Honorable Presiding Officer, we will now proceed to our other communications since we have no item calendar in the third and final reading.
Mr. Secretary,
Other communications. Honorable Presiding Officer, I move for the approval of the following item number 1 be forwarded to the Committee on Land Use, Human Settlement for information and reference. Item number 2 and 6, this will be forwarded to the Committee on Laws, Justice, Human Rights for information and reference. Item number 3, this will be forwarded to all SP for information and reference. Item number 4 be forwarded to the Committee on Health for information and reference. And item number 5 be forwarded to the committee, to all members of the PPOC and the PADA for information and reference. 7, 8, and 9, Honorable Presiding Officer, be forwarded to the Special Investigative Committee regarding boundary disputes for information and appropriate action. So moving for approval as enumerated. Honorable Presiding Officer.
motion is approved.
Before we will now proceed, Honorable Presiding Officer, to the other matters, but before that, may we now recognize our newly installed Dato Sumbungan regarding the committee, membership of the committee and the chairmanship of the committee. Honorable Presiding Officer, may we now recognize the IPMR representative, the Honorable Board Member Sumbungan.
Okay, the Honorable Sumbungan is recognized. Go ahead, Dato.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair and August body, my colleague. My chairmanship Committee on Indigenous Cultural Communities, Indigenous People, Chairman, yours truly, and Vice Chairman. Indigenous.
Okay.
Board Member Elisa is Unahon, my member, my Vice Chairman. BM Gudiprido ay Balansag, and BM Bobby G. Dinayan, and BM Marlon Brandog B. Dinayan. The membership of committee, member ko sa Committee on Law, Justice and Human Rights, Chairman BM Oliver Win Garcia. Dayon Committee on Barangay and Local Government. Chairman, PM Gudiprido El Balanchan. A member ko ng committee. And the last, mura siguro, tulo na.
Well, at least that's the minimum, di ba? Minimum. Okay. Okay, Mr. Secretary, please take note of the new members of the Committee on Indigenous Affairs. And the committee of which Dato Sumbungan will now be a member, which is the Committee on Laws and the Committee on Barangay and Good Governance. Yes, Majority Floor.
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Presiding Officer. So I think we have that new amendment of our chairmanship as well as the membership of our IPMR mandatory representative ex officio member, the Honorable Board Member Sumbungan, this Honorable Presiding Officer. So we will now proceed, Honorable Presiding Officer, for the other matters that the Honorable Board Member to KGPP.
Okay. Honorable Board Member Pipito, second place.
Thank you, Mr. Presiding Officer. I was supposed to pass a resolution, Mr. Presiding Officer, to formal commendation regarding the recently concluded civil service exam. Gusto lang kong i-acknowledge yung dato mga passers sa provincial government na nag-take. Pero siguro pwede na ito i-equal na, Mr. Presiding Officer, i-recommend nga ma-include on the Monday convocation kung it's a sponsor. Pwede ba na ito na make lang for communication?
How many are there?
Kala ako balangan po sa Mr. Presiding Officer, kaya wala po yung record. Di ba mag-inform na ng staff if mag-take sila. So wala basig maka-provide na each officers can say yan nila.
Okay, so let the information or the names of those who passed be flashed during the Monday convocation.
Yeah.
At least would you prefer to have it that way, or would you like to have them, each of them,
go
on stage?
Will you see your flash?
Flash lang, no?
And then second, Mr. Presiding Officer, I have here Sir James Michael Fabros. If you could give him some small time, siguro, Mr. Presiding Officer, regarding the Sea Green Coffee Expo. Expo ba?
Sea Green?
Karong 29, bitaw, Mr. Presiding Officer, May 29.
Okay.
To give us an insight kung unsay may tabo and then unsa ni siyang event. Kasi pwede na itong time lang.
Okay. Very briefly, Mr.
James Michael Fabros.
Please introduce yourself and the company you represent for record purposes, sir.
Yes. Good afternoon, everyone.
To check ang atong rules, di pa natin suspend.
Honorable Presiding Officer, I move for the suspension of our internal laws rule to accommodate our invited guests just to present regarding on the coffee expo.
The second, so suspended. Please proceed, sir.
Thank you so much. So thank you so much, Mr. Chair, and thank you to our board member, Dr. Pito, and everyone here. So I'm very thankful to be able to invite personally all of our esteemed leaders now from the province. I'm representing the Bukidnon Business Club. I'm the current founder and chairman. And also our co-organizers, Motors Gardeners Incorporated, and of course, the Bukidnon Coffee Tribe. So the Southeast Asian Green Coffee Competition is happening in Bukidnon this May 29 to 31, 2026. So we have also forwarded communications to each of our members here through letters this past month in March. And we're happy to personally invite everyone once again as Bukidnon. This is the first time Bukidnon is hosting this national coffee event. So, as I said, it's the Southeast Asian Green Coffee Competition, which was founded by the Southeast Asian Green Coffee Organization. So, one of the founders, Sam Choi, will be our head judge, and this prestigious coffee event will be happening as we host the competition, the national round for the Philippines. So we are expecting actually coffee coming from all over the Philippines to arrive here in Bukidnon and to compete for the national place for the international round on August in Vietnam. So this will also coincide with what we are having alongside this event, the Bukidnon Coffee Festival, which we also will be hosting national level coffee value chain leaders from different people from the coffee value chain to be here as our speakers, as our concessionaires, as our exhibitors. So we'd like to invite everyone to, if you would be present and with us, as we also invited our national agency representatives to come here, as this is not only an opportunity now for to showcase Bukidnon as a forum, a coffee, rising star in the coffee industry, but also, of course, to also enhance our fundraising, to also showcase different concessionaires, products, and different the hospitality of Bukidnon. So we're happy to announce that representatives from our national agencies will also be coming, will also be receiving different speakers from different brands of coffee, and we're excited to showcase Bukidnon on a global scale, especially as we discussed in support of the coffee roadmap as well. So yan po, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you, sir. Any questions from the members?
So it's also the first time they'll be opening their doors to the public. So there's going to be a limited, we have around 46 exhibitors. These are coffee brands from all over the Philippines, and there's around 12 speakers with different added value messages for us. So we'd also like to ask for the support of all, of course, of all the members to help us encourage our Bukidnon farmers as we highlight them for this event. And of course, all the top 10 of each category that will be winning in the coffee competition, their coffee will be recycled in Vietnam, and if they win the international round, they will be part of a coffee world tour. So to really highlight, we're excited to bring Bukidnon coffee there at that stage, up for the national stage, and then for the global stage.
Mr. Chair, this was a quick question lang.
Yes.
James, nakapag free taste na, maka-free taste na.
Yes, so we'll be conducting free tasting din for all the participating coffees. So this is also a chance of last day. So I will be happy to of course, would like to invite the presidents of all the board members here and Honorable Vice President to the opening program. So that's when we have invited also our national agency representatives. So the opening program is happening on May 29 in the morning. So again, it's going to be an early lunch in the hall sa Valencia sa Maguntaas. And you're also invited if you'd like to be present during the awarding ceremony. The awarding will be on May 31. That will be also where we will be able to meet our esteemed national and international judges. We have a roster of 24 judges, 12 of which are coming from different countries all over Southeast Asia, and then we have 12 national judges coming from all over the Philippines.
Hindi ko na-catch yung oras.
It's on May 29, 9 a.m. Yes, po. And then the awarding will be on May 31 at 2 p.m. in the afternoon.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, so you have been duly notified. So let us support this an initiative coming from the province of Bukidnon. This will bring honor to our province, especially if we win that competition.
Yes, as many countries win. And of course, we are excited to invite as many farmers to cheer for the farmers that might be winning there. Okay, we want it to be not only something that other provinces might be interested to come visit us, but also that our farmers will be proud and see that as an opportunity that if I cannot win this year, maybe next year naman. It is also a very unique competition since it only requires 7 kilos of green coffee beans for the competitors. That includes the international round.
Okay. So good luck to you, sir. As the parang ikaw ang organizer kita na, no?
Yes, one of the organizers.
One of the organizers.
Yes,
all the best to you, sir, and to the coffee farmers of Bukidnon.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir.
Households are restored, and we now again have the board members' time. If there are none, so may we now proceed, Honorable Presiding Officer, to the Secretary's time.
Secretary, sir, please proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Presiding Officer. Thank you, Majority Floor Leader. This is the right forum, Honorable Presiding, to discuss what we have discussed during lunch time regarding our
Next Tuesday. Tuesday morning. On the 19th.
all right.
Yes. Honorable Garcia?
Joanne. They will be on the 21st, but we have decided na 19 na lang. If they are available. I don't know if it was relayed to you, Ma'am Joanne. Because alam nila na magbalik-balik.
Yes.
So if available sila instead of 21.
Okay. So instead of having committee hearings on the 19th, so there will be a committee of the whole on that day at 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock in the morning.
This is not
specifically the concern. Okay? So everyone, please be present. Lunch will be served, but each of you will pay. Okay, anything else, Mr. Secretary?
Nothing more.
Okay, so before we leave, since we're on the topic of boundary conflicts, so here is a story entitled The Fence and the Neighbor. So a man planted a beautiful garden. His neighbor admired the flowers so much that he began walking through the garden to get home faster. It's only a few steps, the neighbor said. So when the flowers were trampled and the garden lost its beauty, the gardener finally built a fence. The neighbor felt offended, but the gardener said, "The fence is not to punish you. It is to protect what I worked hard to grow." The lesson in all this, boundaries are not walls to keep people out. They are fences that protect what matters. With that, Majority Floor Leader. The 42nd Manila session is hereby adjourned at exactly 3:31.